The day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 355. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. For as little as $1, you can help support the Rated G Network. You can help fund our content, and you get a bunch of cool stuff if you sign up. So go over there and check us out. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? You know, every time I hear you say $1, just for $1, you can help us out, right? It takes me back to the SNL skit from like a couple of years ago. Yeah, I think it was like a year ago. I forgot who was the guest on the show that episode, but he was like in Africa, and he's like, for 39 cents you can help everybody out, and everybody in the background was like, 39 cents? What is 39 cents gonna do? Ask for more. He's like, no, 39 cents you can help everybody in this village, and everybody's like, no, what can we do with 39 cents? No.
I think I remember that. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. So the way you said it just now just reminded me of that skit where I'm like, no, Dave, ask for more. No.
I thought you were gonna mention RoboCop. That's where I thought you were going with that.
Wait, what happened with RoboCop?
There's like that. I think it's a commercial that's in like the middle of it or the early part of it where the guy's like, "I'll buy that for $1," and he gets like right up in the camera. Yeah, it's real satirical. Yeah.
I don't remember that now.
Oh, it's classic. RoboCop is great, man. RoboCop. We
talking about the first one, though? We're talking about the first one.
Yeah, I was talking about the first one. Part two is like good, and part three we don't talk about.
Part two was good. It wasn't bad. I didn't think it was bad by any means. Part three is
it's terrible. It's terrible.
I don't want to say terrible. I don't want to say. I gotta go back and rewatch it.
It's definitely trash.
I gotta rewatch it. I don't want to say terrible.
And the new one,
I refuse to say terrible. It just wasn't great.
The remake also not great because they kind of like stripped out all the undertones that were in the first one, and it was just like it was very, very much a one-note movie, even though it had Michael Keaton. But
well, I thought it was weird at the end where he got like his family back and was like, "You're a robot, dude. I don't know if you can be just like dad."
Listen, he's got his memories. That was the whole thing, that you couldn't erase the soul of the human, right? Like he was remembering things about his past life. He wasn't just a robot that like kept the peace, right? Like this walking cyborg.
I'm just saying, I mean, at the end they made it like he could just go back to being a husband and a father.
Yeah.
Unless he's a walking vibrator for his wife. I mean,
whoa, hey, and there we go. That is the explicit rating for this episode.
Well, listen, I have a reason to be explicit. My TV's still broken.
Oh,
okay.
Well, it takes time. I mean, you put it in the request, right, to get it fixed.
So okay. I didn't. You don't know this. So I haven't told you. Mm-hmm. So I put in the request, and they said upload. You got to upload pictures. They want to see the serial number and upload pictures of the TV, like the whole, they want to see a picture of the whole TV, and they want to see a picture of like the problem. Mm-hmm. So they want you to do a close up. Usually, like if there's a crack or something, there is no crack. It's just not turning on.
Right. Yeah.
So what I did was I took a picture of the whole TV, took a picture of the serial number, and then I did a video of the flashing light because it flashes 5 times. I don't know what that indicates. I don't know what the issue that
you can find those codes online. Yeah, they have the error codes.
Well, I told the lady when I called, I said it's flashing 5 times and then it stops and then it flashes. It keeps flashing 5 times. Mm-hmm. So she said, okay, cool. So just so I've been submitting this stuff, and I kept calling because I was like, hey, did you get it? And they said no. So finally, I guess this is it's partially my fault, but if you read the fine print in the email they send you, they said if you have an iPhone, because of the privacy settings, you can't just take a picture in a video from your iPhone and upload it. You have to go and click file and take a picture right there and then, or take a video right there and then.
I understand. I think they strip out the metadata from your photos. I think that's what it is, and they probably use that to like make sure, because you could just like find a photo online of a busted TV and a rando cereal and go, yeah, here it is, you know.
Okay,
so that makes sense, and I think, you know, good on Apple for kind of, I know it's an extra hurdle, but good on Apple for keeping your privacy safe.
So I you know, so it was in a fine print. I didn't read it until, you know, because the lady kept telling me that's an error code because it says I can't log in. And I was like, well, there's nothing to log in. I just got to upload it and that's it. So I finally did it yesterday.
Okay.
And they sent me an email and said that they got the pictures, they got the video, and the processing. Well, I didn't get anything today.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to get anything over the weekend, so I'm going to have to wait till Monday.
Probably going to be a few business days, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
And then they got to ship it out, and they're going to ship it at the lowest speed possible. So.
No, I bet you this. No, I don't think that's what's going to happen. This is.
I guarantee you, that's what Google does.
No. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They're going to send me a label, and they're going to say,
"Oh, box it up and send it back." Yeah, of course.
Send it to us, and then as soon as we get it, we're going to send you a replacement.
Yep. Which right, good luck finding a box of that size unless you kept it.
No, I'm gonna have to go to like UPS, the UPS store, FedEx. And
they actually manufacture those now. You can just get a TV box. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a TV. So
well,
I'm
you have your old TV and you have a bunch of computer monitors, so you're not completely SOL.
Okay. So let me. All right. Well, I do have my first TV I had, the 65 inch. I put that in the living room. Mm-hmm. The living room, I don't really game in the living room because that's like my office. I game in the basement. You know, the stereotypical gamer, where you're stuck in the basement. So that's where I game.
No shade, no shame.
The living room, we're in New York City and it's like 70 or 80 degrees out nowadays.
It's a little warm. It's a little warm today.
Summertime came early. Yeah. And I don't have AC in the living room. So it is hot in the living room. Yep. And I have a lot of natural light, which means I have a lot of sunlight coming in too, so it is hot. Mm-hmm. The basement is super cool where I want to game.
Probably a good 5-10 degrees cooler, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I can't game. And for some reason, because I do have an LG monitor, which is like my main monitor, which I'm looking at you right now on my screen, doesn't work with my PS5 and Xbox Series X. It works with my Wii, it works with my Switch, but it doesn't work with the newer consoles. It works with the older consoles, not the newer consoles.
It's a 1080 monitor?
Yes.
Okay. I do know that the PlayStation 5 out of the gate didn't support 1440p, which was a very common resolution for computer monitors. I don't know if they updated that or whatnot. I don't think it would have affected your monitor because it's 1080, which is in spec.
Okay, how about this?
It should work.
How about this? I think it's 1080.
Oh, well.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that.
Well, how long ago did you get it?
It looks great. Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
It's a possibility it was 1440p or 4K, but I'm going to assume it's 1080.
It's definitely not 4K. It's definitely not 4K.
You may have to like mess with the settings. You may have to take it upstairs and like put it in a lower resolution and then try and hook it up to your monitor because it should work if it's 1080 or 720.
Yeah, well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work on my monitor, so I would have to take the consoles upstairs and play in the living room in the heat.
No, I'm just saying. I think you can change the output and then bring it back downstairs and see if that fixes it.
Yeah, that's a lot of work I don't want to do, so I just don't have a TV.
It's like 5 minutes, upstairs, downstairs, and then you're all set. But all right. Yeah.
So, all right, we have an awesome show coming up this week. All right, we're going to talk about the new Tears of the Kingdom trailer, which people are really hyped about, and another AAA game delayed, and this time it's a big delay, not a small delay. But before we get into any of that, let's start the show off with Super Bomberman R2. We knew they were making it, but we got a release date. But this is a little bit interesting the game is going to be released September 13th in North America and September 14th in Japan, but the physical edition will be available September 12th in North America. Mm-hmm. So it's usually the other way around, where you could buy the game digitally,
right? Because it's easier to
later on
just put it out there. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, but this time you can get the physical edition the day before you can buy the digital edition.
Right.
Listen, I'm all for it. I'm empowering physical. I'm all for this.
I mean,
it's kind of weird.
It'd be nicer if it was with a better game, but because the first Bomberman R was trash.
It was
trash. It was a launch title.
Trash.
I bought it and I played it like 5 times, and that's being generous, and then never again. And the only reason I bought it is because it was either that or Zelda or 1-2 Switch. That's all there was.
I think IGN gave it a 7. They said it was okay. It wasn't the greatest Bomberman game, but it wasn't that great.
I was definitely not compelled to go back to it. But now
I put more time in this Bomberman game than any other Bomberman game
because it was a lunch
title. Because it was a lunch title.
Right. So do you think this was the big news that Konami was going to put on stage? Like, is this what they were going to say? Hey, new Super Bomberman R2, a sequel to a game that nobody cared about.
It's coming out in September.
Yeah, this is what they would have had, Dan. This would have been your great E3. Konami comes on stage and goes, Bomberman R2? Yeah.
No,
that's all they had. That's all. What else do they have? There's no Contra, there's no Gradius, there's no Castlevania. What do we got?
No, that's actually not true. We got Silent Hill, right? The remake, or Silent Hill 2.
Yeah,
we know that.
We've had that.
We would have got. Well, we heard about it. We
saw the trailer. It looks great.
Yeah, we saw 50 million Tears of the King trailers. We would have got one more trailer and a release date. Probably.
Oh, that's not new. You wouldn't have been excited over that. You want the new stuff.
All the rumors are all about old stuff being remade, because we got Metal Gear Solid remake. That's.
I mean, maybe
all the rumors are about a new Metal Gear Solid. Well, not a new Metal Gear Solid, an old Metal Gear Solid being remade
with a fresh
once again.
I mean,
yes,
they would give it the royal treatment if they know what they're doing. They would make it modern.
And then we got Super Bomberman R2 coming out.
Yeah, great. 2 games. That's it.
3 games. That's 3 games. That's
3
games right.
Yes. Yeah. Well, 1 we already knew about. That doesn't count.
It counts. There would have been 3 announcements for 3 different games. There we go.
2 announcements and 1 new trailer. That announcement already came out. I'm sorry. Silent Hill doesn't count.
Silent Hill counts because the
Get out of here.
Is that they're making 2 Silent Hill games. Remember, that's the big rumor.
Yeah,
that kept going around, and people still say they're hearing there's going to be 2 Silent Hill games. One that's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and one that's going to be on all platforms.
Yeah. I mean, is it?
I still think that's true.
Is it bad that I'm not excited about any of this?
Well, I don't know why, because I mean, you're a big Resident Evil person. Silent Hill, it was always. Once upon a time, it was always Silent Hill or Resident Evil. Which one is the best?
Well, sure. Back in the day. Yeah, that was back in the day. Like, Capcom is still putting out bangers. They have that Resident Evil engine. The RE engine is great. All the Resident Evils... Actually, I think all the Resident Evils are on the RE engine now at this point. 1 through 8, I think, have all had updates to be in the RE engine at some point. And they're all amazing. Like, the remakes are all 10 out of 10s. They're really good. I love them all.
Well, listen. Hold your thoughts until you actually see it, and then you can say you don't like it.
Okay.
All right. Something I want to get into, like I want to play. Like, we got a new Nintendo 64 game on Nintendo Online, Switch Online, right? And they added Pokemon Stadium.
It's a fan favorite, I think. Fan favorite, right?
Fan favorite. Didn't one of the cartridges, because it was Stadium 1 and Stadium 2, didn't one of them was like half gold? I remember. Right, I do have it because I thought it was a fake.
They may have done some fanciness to the cartridge. I'm actually not entirely sure. Yeah.
People really like Pokemon Stadium. I actually want to play it. I do have it. I always wanted to play it. I may use it for Saturday morning retro.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting because you don't normally play Pokemon games, right?
Well, I don't know the difference. What's the difference? Pokemon Stadium because I like Pokemon. I like Pokken Tournament. Right?
Stadium is
a straight up fighting game.
Stadium is not that. Although you do fight in an arena, so they take out all the RPG elements of going around and whatever else, and you build the army, and then you battle them head to head, and then you fight it out RPG style. So you kind of pick and choose the moves that you want to do, and you've got a certain amount of power, and you can swap your guys in and out. So it's just the battle portion of Pokemon, with some added stuff outside of it to like get different monsters and whatnot. I forget how you accrue different monsters, but you can have like 6 in your party, and you keep fighting battles. So you're just in the stadium proper.
And you know what? And you know the thing that sucks? I play my Switch mostly on my TV. 80% on my TV.
Oh yeah. See, I'm the other way around. Well, actually, I haven't played it on the TV in like since maybe 2017. I use that thing as a portable console. It's great.
Because you know why? You know why I do?
I'm so used to it.
You know why I play on the TV? I mean, I'm just so happened that it's right next to me. I love their Pro Controller. The Pro Controller
legit.
is awesome.
You're right. It is. It is definitely very good.
That's why I like playing on TV.
I don't have the Pro Controller. I just have the Joy-Cons. So they give you that little dinky thing to like throw the Joy-Cons in, and it's not the greatest experience.
The grip.
Yeah, the grip isn't great. So that's partially why I play mobilely.
All right. Well, Dave, as we always try to start the show, but epically fail, what have you been playing? And before you tell me what you've been playing, let me just say I'm relying on you for this segment because I haven't played anything because I don't have a TV. I don't have a TV.
We just got done talking about the Switch. You can play it portably.
I don't play it portably.
This is a problem of your own machination, Dan. Like, you have ways to play.
I'm not going to sit there with the Switch and pop out that little thing in the back and then play like that with a little screen.
I'm just saying, you're imposing all these restrictions of why you can't play. You have millions of handhelds. You could play anything.
Just want it to work.
Yeah, the handhelds just work. You pop a console, pop a cartridge in, and you're good to go. Well,
I want to play it on my TV.
Thankfully, my TV isn't broken, although it was broken a couple of years ago, and I don't want to get into that story again, but I fixed it. I fixed it with the help of a good friend of mine. We ended up fixing it. It was just a $100 part you had to buy online, and we swapped it out, and it worked again. But regardless, I'm still playing Resident Evil 4 on the PS5. The Resident Evil 4 remake. It's great. I'm almost done with it for the second time. So hopefully I get an S rank and I get some more stuff, and then I can play it again and, keep it moving. I know some people like modern vintage gamer. The last time he talked about it, he was on his 4th go around. So there is a lot to that game.
How many times do you want to beat this game? I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, you need to play it at least 2 or 3 times to get... I think you need to play it possibly even 4 or maybe 5 times. Like, there's a minimum certain amount of times to, like, complete it and get everything. Because when you beat it the first time, you unlock professional mode, and you get a couple of things that you can buy in the shop. And then if you beat it within a certain amount of hours, you beat it in under 8 hours, you get something. If you beat it on a S rank plus, I think you get something. If you beat it on professional mode, you get something. So, and you don't unlock everything on the first go around. So it's at least 2 times through, possibly 3, maybe 4.
Okay.
It's great though, because you get all the stuff that you had when you beat it. So you're like super powered up in the beginning, and you got all the assault rifles and the long range snipers and the souped up shotgun, and you're just like blasting through the beginning of the game. It's great.
I will say I'm gonna try this weekend. I'm bringing this segment. I'm just bringing this segment up because I know we're gonna talk about it at the end of the show. What are you gonna do this weekend? I may try to go get Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
I get it on the Xbox because
Okay.
I want to try. Since I can buy microtransactions and I could buy unlimited weapons or unlimited life or whatever,
and it also has
easier. I'll do that.
It also has an assist mode, so you can play on easy mode, and you can still enjoy the whole entire game. You can get through it. Like, you can make it a manageable experience. They've gone the distance. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why don't we take a break?
Mm-hmm.
When we come back, we're gonna get into the top gaming news of last week.
Mm-hmm.
Dave. Let's get into top gaming news of last week, and we have to start with the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom trailer.
Can I posit this right now? I hate to cut you off so early, but could we call this Christmas 3?
No, we can't call it Christmas 3.
Because it's
extended Christmas 2.
This trailer was so good. It's like Christmas 3 for me.
I know you really like this trailer. You really wanted to talk about it on the show.
I did.
So this is the first thing I got from the trailer. Right? Because I didn't watch the last trailer. Well,
you didn't watch the second one. Okay.
No, that's a lie. I did watch it, but I didn't really put any emphasis on it.
Okay.
Like at this point, I just want to play the game.
Well, the second one had like the item combinations. You could craft your own things, build vehicles.
Yes.
It was like Banjo-Kazooie, nuts and bolts, right? It's like, well, this is really cool. Because that's what everyone was saying. That's essentially what it is, just a good version of that.
He made a boat. He made a car. It's like he's making a car out of boulders and stuff. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
like, he can craft stuff. But the biggest thing I wanted to know the story.
Right.
We got a little bit more of like the story elements because
we did
when they first said they were making like Breath of the Wild 2, right? When it was still coined that. We saw Zelda, and they're like in these ruins. They're like underground. It looks like they were like underground somehow, and they were like in the ruins. And then Zelda falls, right?
Yep.
And in this trailer, she's falling in this chasm, but then she starts to light up, and it's like, well, is she going to be like teleported somewhere? Like, how does that work? And then all of a sudden, she's standing next and talking to a mysterious person that we don't see their face.
Pretty sure that's talking about the king, her dad, the king of Hyrule. I think it is.
I don't know if that's the King of Hyrule. I mean, some people saying that the person is like dressed as a Zoni. Was it Zoni, right? Like that's what that village is called, Zoni.
Zora, the fish guys? No.
Zoni. I think it's pronounced Zoni.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
They have like the artwork.
Oh, from the Breath of the Wild.
Zonai.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, the Zonai.
Right.
So she's dressed in the Zonai garb, and that person he puts his hands on her shoulder, and he's dressed like maybe that's like the king of the Zonas. I don't know.
I thought it was the king of Hyrule, but maybe not. Maybe because I forget, because I think the old man actually was the king who died.
I thought it was Ganon. I thought it was Ganon. I thought it was Ganon.
It's possible.
My first reaction, I thought it was Ganon.
Yeah.
But then you see Ganon. He has like the fiery red hair, and he's like trapped, and he's trying to get out. And I think that could be like the beginning of the game, because we actually see Ganondorf for the first time since I think Twilight Princess. Right?
Yeah, and he's brawling. He's brawling. He's been working out.
And
he's been hitting that gym.
And he's pissed. He's pissed.
Hell yeah, he is. I mean, he got felled in Breath of the Wild. He was like the demon beast thing, right? It was the weird Ganon's, the weird demon beast, and he turned into the giant, like four-legged beast at the end.
So this wasn't. They actually said it. If you actually read, I think there was like a press release or something. You do start in the sky, so the game starts in the sky.
Sure,
so that is the new plateau.
Sure.
Being in the sky is the new plateau. I just want to know how we get to the sky. Like, now I'm so curious. I'm like, how do we even get to the sky? Like, what happens?
Well, we know that the glider is back. Are you talking about like story wise or like gameplay wise? How do we get to the sky?
Story wise, like.
Okay, I see. Well, I feel like Ganon probably is terrorizing the land, and then Link's got to go from the sky to the land. I don't know how he gets up to the sky though, but or maybe Ganon goes up and terrorizes the sky, and then Link's got to go down to the ground to like get all his friends to get powered up to go into the sky to fight Ganon at the end. I don't know.
But it looks like there are 3 different levels, right? So we know you're in the sky. We know, from the sky you can come back to, Hyrule and the land.
Right.
I don't think there's an underground level, right? Like he's like underground, in with all this lava pit, all the lava around him flowing around, like the lava falls,
and like so more than just
like underground,
more than just a dungeon, but like a whole plane, right?
area. Yeah.
I think that may be a thing, even if it's like only like partially fleshed out. I don't know if it's going to be like as big as the regular overworld, but I think you're right. I think there's going to be some stuff in there, which is super cool. You know, it's just the level of exploration options are going to be big. Now, we don't know if there's going to be dungeons or if they're going to bring the divine beasts back from the first one, the 4 of them, or the 5 if you got the DLC. That still is yet to be seen. I think at this point, whatever Nintendo has built out is going to be great. I don't know where they're going to go with it because they haven't really showed any of that stuff. And they've showed a lot, but they haven't showed that yet. So there's still so much more to uncover. We don't know how the origins of the story work, how it plays into the last game. Like, there's a lot of kind of unknowns.
Can I make a prediction?
Oh, you can certainly make a prediction.
So I think for some reason, Zelda and Link go into a chasm looking for something. They're looking for something.
Sure.
There's something missing.
They're like treasure hunting?
Treasure hunting for some reason. And they find out that Ganon is secretly underground, regaining his power somehow, some way through something, right? And he bursts and explodes and comes out, which causes, Zelda to fall, and then she gets transported somewhere, and his explosion throws some of the land into the sky.
That is very possible. I could get down with that, yeah.
And then that elevates Link into the sky, and he's unconscious because he's falling too. He doesn't seem like he's gonna.
And it kind of breaks apart the world a little bit. Yeah, I could see that happening
a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he turns into Ganondorf. Like that, his whole purpose is to be whole again. Right. And you have to stop him.
Right.
So I think that could be a prediction. That's my prediction for the story.
Sure. Well, some things we do know. There's a couple of things that I thought were really cool that I wanted to mention from the trailer. One, we do get motifs. We get very strong motifs of the classic theme song in the trailer. Yes. And I feel like there's going to be a lot more of that in the game proper. Now, I don't know if it's going to be like that there won't be a lot of music, but when there is music, it'll take cues from the other songs, or if it's going to be a lot more music heavy, because the first one didn't have a lot of music. It was only at key points. When you got into battles, when you went into towns, or when there was like key story elements, you would hear some music. But otherwise, it'd just be nature. It'd be birds chirping around and wind blowing, and that's it. So I was very excited to see that. I thought it was cool. There was a brief moment where this giant creature comes like walking out of a wall, like this giant.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Like one of those ancients, and it was all glowing, and I'm like, oh, that's a boss. It's gonna be a boss or a mini boss or something. There was a giant airship at one point for like 2 seconds. Somebody had a giant airship. I don't know if that's your airship, if you can build that, if that's somebody else's airship, if it's good or bad.
IGN call it an alien invasion.
Oh, I mean, it could be.
That would be a first. That would be a first in the Zelda games, right? Like some like other, people from another planet or something.
Right.
Yeah, I saw the airship, and looked like there was a bunch of airships in the sky.
I think it may have been a fleet. Yeah. Also, there was a moment of combat. Go ahead.
I hate to cut you off, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That you have, we call it an airship because it is an actual ship that goes on water that's in air, and they still have the oars as they're paddling through the sky.
I mean, you can definitely push air like that. It's not very effective, but you could do it. I mean, I think it's there more for aesthetics than anything else, but.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't have to get that out of the way.
No. It's a fair point. Maybe the magical oars. They could push a lot of air. Who knows?
The oars are really the engines of the ship.
Yeah, right. They could be.
Okay.
They could be.
All right. I'm sorry. I had to get that out.
Oh no. So then there was also like horse combat, which I thought was pretty big. Now there was combat on horse in the first one. You could do some stuff, but like Link's like spinning around this giant spear, and like it looks like he's got a lot more agency when he's on the horse, which I thought was awesome. There were moments that we saw you with a crew. We saw some of the old champions. So
the champions are returning. Which kind of that's cool.
We saw Daruk. And,
well, no, I think they're the descendants of the champions, because remember, the champions are, spoilers, the champions are
dead from the first one. Yeah, you
like
get to embody or use the powers of the champions. They imbue their power. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're like spirits. You may be right. It could be descendants of that. I think that would make more sense, because they are there on the field and you can fight with them, which is super cool.
Yes.
Like we see, I guess the descendant of Rivali, the bird god, and he's there, like, fighting side by side. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then there's
you see they have like a shot of Link running into with like a whole bunch of like a squad of people. So
yes.
Can you build an army? Can I build an army here? Or is that just a cutscene?
I don't know, because there was like some regular townsfolk, dude. There was a couple of townsfolk that I'm like, you guys are like from Kakariko. Like, what are you guys doing here? You may be able to hire kind of mercenaries to be on your team. I think that very well could be a component.
Well, mercenaries and just villagers. They were villagers.
Well, right. You can hire, you hire the townsfolk. Yeah.
And one more thing. Are we gonna get a slight crossover with Mario? Because he walked into there was a scene where he walked into a village and everything was mushroom themed. People had like mushroom hats on their head.
Oh,
like the town was like mushroom themed.
We've had mushroom people before.
I mean, I'm just saying, is it going to be like a little? Is it going to be like an Easter egg where I walk into a shop and the shopkeeper's name is Toad or something?
I mean, they've certainly done stuff like that before. Like the Game Boy one had a chain chomp in it.
Yeah,
it was literally a chain chomp.
It had Goombas. It had Goombas in it.
It did.
Right?
Goombas and turtles. Yeah.
I mean, can I get a Mario pie to boost my energy? Right? Can I get right, so I'm just saying it could be a slight crossover with like they had a townsfolk
for sure
that was mushroom themed. So that's all I'm saying.
For sure. And then we did get a brief. So there are some new powers. We did see one of them, which I guess it looked like someone was shooting a projectile at Link in like an arcing motion, and then Link freezes the item in air and then hits it, and then after like a second or two, it goes back and like he reverses it and it goes back in the other direction.
But it slows down time though, so It's not like he reverses it and the enemy gets to like run away. Like everything slows down, which is awesome.
Right. So I wonder if obviously we're going to get new powers. I wonder if the old powers are going to return. Are we going to have the 6 from the first one and new ones, or are they just going all in on these new powers, new mechanics, and like all new stuff? Because the glider's back. That's one thing that's returning from the first one is the hang glider.
The glider's back. You also get sort of like some type of raccoon gliding suit, right? Because he's like descending in between. Like,
there is like a wingsuit thing, yeah.
With all these lasers, and he's like, you got to maneuver to get away from the lasers. So it's it's like a wingsuit. So that's pretty. That was pretty awesome. I wonder how much you use that in the game, though, right? Like,
I feel like a lot.
That could.
I feel like a lot. Because it's all mountainous, right? There's all these giant cliffs you can just fly off of.
I mean, that looks like he's going. I mean, I don't know if that's like a dungeon and they're just showing an example, or is that him descending into sort of like the ground level area, right? The underground chasm area.
Yeah.
Or so many questions I want to know.
Now, I've heard some people say, I want to get your thoughts on it, because I certainly am in the camp of this is going to be like a whole new experience, but a lot of people were afraid of, was this going to be the old Breath of the Wild land again that I'm just going to run through with a couple of new things? Does this trailer make you think that there's going to be enough new in there that it's just not going to be like Breath of the Wild 2?
It's going to be so much more than Breath of the Wild 2, because I'll tell you why.
Thank you.
I'll tell you why. Breath of the Wild was made for the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
It was ported to the Switch.
That is true.
So they did not use the capabilities of the Switch to its fullest capacity, because it was just a port of a Wii U game. Remember, we knew nothing about the Switch when we first heard about Breath of the Wild, and so trailers for Breath of the Wild. It was all supposed to be on the gamepad. Thank God for the Switch, because we probably would have been forced to use the gamepad for certain things.
Now, it still looked great on the Switch, don't get me wrong, but I 100% agree that it was hindered a little bit by... There's a beefed up version of a Wii U game. Yeah.
Correct.
For sure.
So it's now they're using the Switch to its fullest capability, and I do think we're going to get so much more to the map, right? And if I'm correct in my assessment, where Ganon is, exploding out and different lands are going to the sky, that creates a totally new area right there for you, right?
Yeah.
Where the area you thought like you knew and beat, right, gets turned upside down essentially.
Right.
It's going to be something different.
Right. So it's not that it's a different land, it's just a land that was destroyed or terraformed or whatever. Ganon kind of threw it into the air. So it works story-wise, it works gameplay-wise. And yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but it is a high contender for Game of the Year for me so far.
It's probably Game of the Year.
It's a high contender. I mean, this last trailer was hype mode was they broke the dial on the hype mode. They broke it.
Look, this, you know why I'm gonna say this is like the ultimate Switch game? Because the Switch is actually in the game. Did you not see the shot with Link? Did you not see the shot with Link? He had in his hand.
It's the Sheikah Slate.
It's a Sheikah Slate, a new looking Sheikah Slate looks just like the Switch.
That's what the old one was too.
But this looks more like a Switch. It looks more like a Switch.
That's what the old one was too. It was more Wii U modeled, but it's the same thing.
Well, no, that one looked more, like a Switch with no Joy-Cons, but this looked like a Switch with Joy-Cons.
Well, it's new and improved. It's got a bunch of new things you can do with it. So.
Well, listen, Link is new and improved. He can make a rocket in his arm and go over and fly up.
He was just straight up dragon punching into the sky.
Yeah,
that's
crazy. I wonder how that works.
Yeah.
The thing I'm really looking forward to is that the floating water bubble, right?
Oh, that too. That yeah.
But he jumps in and he's swimming around the water bubble. Now I want to know if you have to push yourself into because it's floating, because I think you have to jump from platform to platform to get to your ultimate destination.
I think that's one of your abilities. You can make these little stasis bubbles that you can jump into. I could be wrong, but I feel like Link's going to be able to make those things.
That would be cool,
right? And then you can kind of make your own pathways, right? You can go from here to here to get onto this platform. That'd be dope.
I'm all in. I'm all in. I just want. So May 12th, my boss doesn't listen to the show. Okay,
this is good.
Thank God he doesn't listen.
Because you're gonna say something spicy right now.
Because May 12th, I will be working remotely from my phone. I will be at the Nintendo store waiting on.
Oh, this man is not calling out sick, folks. This man is.
I'm not calling out sick.
Working.
I'm working. I will be working. I will have I will have a mysterious lunch with a client that day, because I'm going to be in the city, waiting online early in the morning. Okay. To get in, I'm gonna get everything that's Zelda related. I'm getting it. Okay, I'm gonna get the Zelda Pro controller. I'm gonna get the Zelda pack for the Switch. Right. I'm gonna get all the amiibos. And I know the Zelda themed Switch comes out next week, I believe. If they have it in stock, I'm probably gonna get it.
This guy balling over here.
I'm all in.
There you go.
I'm all in.
Having a lunch date with a 1S Miyamoto.
All right. Well, let's switch gears and let's talk about a game that's coming out before Zelda Breath of the Wild, and that's Redfall. Right? Redfall's been in the news lately, not for some good stuff. I mean, the first time it's IGN first this month, I think. Yep. Right? I think it's IGN first, because they had exclusive gameplay from an IGN employee on Redfall, and apparently whoever was playing the game was just dreadful at playing the game, and everybody was just going crazy over this. This is not a great representation of the game, because whoever was playing the game and captured gameplay footage was just terrible.
He's bad at his job. That's what that says to me. They are bad at their job. I don't know who it was exactly, but.
And at launch, this game, Xbox, they've said that it will only have quality mode, right? Usually you have like quality mode and you know, do you want it performance mode, right? I usually go for performance over, you know, visuals.
Right. You like that. You like that 60 frames per second. Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently the Xbox Series X will be 4K 30 frames per second. Xbox Series S will be 1440p in 30 frames per second, and 60 frames per second mode will be added by an update in a later date.
Wow.
So
that's surprising because it's a first party game, right? It's from what, Arcane Studios, is that right?
correct.
Who was bought by Bethesda, who was bought by Microsoft, so now it's all first party in-house. I thought Microsoft, and I'm sure they wanted to have a 60 frame mode ready to go on launch, like a performance mode, but I thought they would have pushed as hard as they could to get that out for launch, because that's Microsoft's, that's everybody's thing. That's Sony's thing too. Performance mode and quality mode, right? 60 frames and 30 frames, 1080p and 4K. I'm surprised that they don't have it. I don't know.
Well, I will. Somebody did say Spawnwave, I think, talked about this on his YouTube channel, that they see the metrics, right? Like these companies see the metrics of who picks. How many times do people pick quality mode over performance and performance over quality?
I would assume they have access to that stuff. Yeah. So
maybe the studio sees that a lot of their games, and it could be just their games, it could be anecdotal, right? It's not like games in general. It could be their games. People usually pick quality over performance, and they're saying, "Hey, let's just put it out instead of delaying it out into the because
it's not going to really affect that much because not a lot of people are using it." Yeah.
Yeah, and what you don't want to do is delay it, and then it gets in the way of Starfield. Because now you're stepping on Starfield.
That's true.
Right. So let's say performance mode comes out during the fall. Everybody's going to be playing Starfield, and that's the company's #1 game this year. So you don't want to have them competing for time.
Yeah.
So let's just put it at 30 frames now, and then we'll patch it in later.
They won't be competing. Starfield's going to crush Redfall. Sales numbers are done for any other game franchise.
So I mean that's just a theory. We don't know by any means, but I would rather have it at 60 frames per second, but I don't think this is the end of the world playing it at 30 frames. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fine.
I
always play in quality mode.
Frames per second.
Yeah, I always play in quality mode, so it doesn't matter to me. I like the extra fidelity, but
yeah. All right, well, let's talk about a game. Let's talk about a game that was supposed to come out. So we talked about a game that we're all hyped for that's coming out, right, in Christmas 2, at the end of Christmas 2. We just talked about a game
right before Christmas 3 when Zelda comes out. It's Christmas 3 for me, Dan. All right,
it's the end of Christmas 2. It's the end of Christmas 2. It's still Christmas 2. It's still Christmas 2. It's the end of Christmas 2.
It's a really long window, but okay.
Well, for months, it was sort of like the trifecta, right? It was Zelda, Redfall, and then Suicide Kill the Justice League. Those are the three games that were there were 3 games that are coming out at the end of Christmas 2, right? We didn't know about Jedi Fallen, Jedi Survivor, right? That's coming out at the end of this month. We didn't know about that at the time. So the third game that was sort of, the trilogy in Christmas 2, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, has now been delayed once again.
Surprise, surprise.
To next year, to 2024. We got our first date of a game coming out in 2024. It's coming out February 2nd in 2024.
I'm done with this game.
Already?
This is bad.
You didn't even start.
Well, it was bad to begin with because they weren't even treating the source material properly. Everyone had weird guns, and you would hit the stupid targets on the enemies.
They weren't using their powers.
Exactly, Dan.
They weren't using their powers. They were using guns.
That's strike number 1.
Sense.
Why even have the license if you're not going to make the characters, right? Make them do the things that they do in the comics and the movies.
Why isn't it Boomerang using his boomerang?
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense.
So that's problem number one. Problem number two, it's, very much a live service game, very much you got to play with friends. It's always on. And now
always online, even if you play by yourself.
I know. And they're trying to claw back some of this stuff to get goodwill with fans, to get it in a point where, okay, are you going to play the game now? We fixed all that stuff. And obviously they can't fix everything because, I think you mentioned before a couple episodes ago that a lot of that stuff is ingrained in the core of the game. You'd have to, rip it all out and redo it from scratch in a way to make it to where, you take all the stuff out that people hate. So they can't do that, but they got to make it palatable.
A 10-month delay doesn't mean they're going to make it more single player experience. They can't. 10
months is a lot more than a couple of months. 10 months is almost a year.
Well, they said that they're delaying it to polish it. They're putting more polish on it, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna say polish, but yeah.
People said it didn't look the best. I mean, it looked okay, it looked good, but it looked the best. That they didn't like a lot of costumes, which, they said, Lex Luthor. Why does he look like a Power Ranger, right?
Yeah.
People were complaining about costumes and stuff. So I think they're going to change a lot of that stuff and maybe going more of a quality mode and make it look better.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, I feel bad for the devs, because anyone who's deep in the sauce and working on the game, it's especially with Rocksteady, company of that size, and you've got WB, they own the rights, and then it's also a DC property, so they ultimately are the property rights owners. So it's a lot of people that have say in what goes down, and you may be working on some stuff and you go, I don't think this is the best for this game, but you get directives from up on high. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to make money on the game. This is how we're going to monetize it, and we got to build the gameplay around this stuff. Sometimes that doesn't work out very well. We know from EA had a lot of problems, and they said, all right, guys, we know you hate multiplayer, microtransactions, DLC, us nickel and diming you and all that. We're going to make a completely single player game. They put out Jedi Fallen Order, and it was almost our game of the year in 2019. It was that good. Game was amazing. It was
my game of the year. Game of the year. In my heart.
I know. It was a neck and neck between that and Death Stranding. They're both amazing games. Don't get me wrong. And that was completely single player, and people loved it. And now they're making a sequel that is still completely single player, and people are going to love it. It's great. That's what this game should have been. Should have been single player with multiplayer co-op opportunities where you could jump in, jump out of other people's games. That should have been the game. And not pink targets with guns.
Everybody just has guns. Yeah, I got superpowers. Who cares? I got a gun, right? So I'm just going to use the gun that potentially can run out of ammo.
Right. Wasn't that the problem with Gotham Knights?
Gotham Knights it's a multiplayer game that they try to shoe in single player experience by making everything mission based, right? Where you could do this mission by yourself and then come back to the base, right? And upgrade and talk to people. It's not a fluid experience like any of the Batman games. Mm-hmm. It's all mission based because they expect you to do it with your friends.
Yeah,
that's what because it's a multiplayer game, and they had a missed opportunity. If they wanted to do that, you could have had Gotham Knights, the heroes, Suicide Squad, the villains. Batman's not dead. Batman's controlled. He disappeared. Batman disappeared. Yeah. You don't know where he is, and you're trying to find him. And at the end of the game, you find out he's been taken over by Brainiac, right? And that leads into Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. And you could do sort of like a team up if you want to do it online. Never been done before. Missed opportunity.
I feel you. I mean, if they did some pre-planning on that, they could have made that happen, for sure.
All right. Well, Dave, we did get a state of play.
Oh,
surprising state of play out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, it's
And it was all when I first heard about it, I thought we were gonna get PSP 2, but no. All right. No. Okay.
They're gonna get that weird. They're gonna get that weird. You're gonna get that weird Q light thing we talked about last episode. Terrible.
Streaming handheld? No. So it was all about Final Fantasy XVI. It was a Final Fantasy XVI showcase.
Yep.
it was a lot of gameplay, and they wanted to emphasize.
It was about an hour. Yeah.
They wanted to emphasize this ain't your normal Final Fantasy, the ones that I don't like, right? Turn based. All action. They're going all in on just action based action RPGs.
They made a specific point.
They look great.
Yeah, they made a specific point to say this was an action game built from the ground up. It wasn't an RPG first, that they turned it into a more actiony game. Which, I mean, I figured 15 was like that. It felt a lot like 15 on steroids, but I guess 15 was a little more RPG-ish, and then they made it more actiony. But this one, very much from the beginning, straight up action with RPG elements in there. There's a lot. There's a lot in here. So, I remember when we were at PAX. Friends of the show, Jay and Susan, they got to see the panel. We were busy doing a bunch of other stuff, and we
had appointments. We couldn't wait.
You didn't necessarily want to go, but I really wanted to go. I'm like, I want to go.
No. Wait, let me correct something. I wanted to go.
Okay, yeah.
But we had things to do. It was you got to make a choice.
Well, anyway.
But I really wanted to go too. Too because I'm hyped for the action RPGs. If this is the old Final Fantasy, I'm not really, I don't really care about that unless it's Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is the only turn-based RPG other than Super Mario RPG that I actually care about, and it's because of the story, right?
That's a great story. So, yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to go too.
Yeah, so I think some of this stuff may have been in that presentation. And then they kind of opened it up, and now it's a bigger thing. I mean, the Yoshi P, the creator of 16, was there to kind of talk about it in field questions, and he was here too to talk a little bit about it in the beginning. And so there's some info that some people may have known already, but I didn't necessarily realize. But you do play as Clive. He is the main protagonist, and pretty much the only character in the game. So you basically play his story through 3 different time periods. It's him as a young adult, I think, and then maybe in his late 20s, 30s maybe, and then maybe an older version of Clive, I think. And you keep kind of jumping through these different time periods that kind of flesh out the story. I think there's one that goes back to when he was a child, maybe too. You can go back and play that element. So that's kind of interesting. They haven't really done that before. Typically, it's you get a party that you can swap characters in and out of, or it's different story points. They'll come in and out. Barrett gets kidnapped, and now Aerith has to come in, and now she's in your party. And then sometimes you can choose who you want in your party. In 6, you could choose pretty much anybody towards the end of the game, which is kind of cool. So this is kind of a new storytelling element. Which I think is kind of neat, and it plays out a little bit differently too, because you choose different missions to go on that are on the map, right? So you get the big overworld, and then as you go through, different points open up, and you can go here and do this, and you go to this town, and then maybe someone's got I need you to find my dog. It could be menial, or I need you to take care of these monsters or whatever.
You mean find my chocobo?
Well, sure, yeah, Chocobo, yeah. Well, I think he,
you got to put it in there somehow.
I think he does have a pet dog, because there was some points where I saw there was a dog next to you, and on the little thing in the bottom left-hand corner with all your moves, you could.
You have a dog that you control, right?
Right.
Because you do, yeah.
Right, and you can use him in battle. There's a sick. I saw you can sick the dog on the enemy, which I think is kind of cool. So that's interesting. I don't know if 6 had a dog, I guess, but this is this is legit somebody who's on the battlefield with you, which is kind of cool. And you do get other people involved. You do get other party members that come in and out, but they're not in your party necessarily for that long, or they're only on certain missions, right? So they're parts of they're in the story, but they're not the main part of the story. It's really Clive's story. From what I get, or at least from this presentation that they had. Beyond that, I mean, you saw it too. The combat is balls to the wall. There's a lot of
super
combat.
action. Oh yeah.
There's a
Super
lot of
action.
combat in it. Well, I mean, like, more than any other Final Fantasy. More than 7 Remake. More than 15. Very much... It felt... Well,
Devil May Cry-ish. It felt more Devil May Cry-ish.
It did. It felt like Devil May Cry. The kind of UI around it felt just like 13. It had the same font and the same little meters and bars and all that. I'm like, this feels a lot like 13.
As I was watching this, I thought it was Devil May Cry meets Monster Hunter, right? Because
it's
not like a lot of little enemies. It's like big action set piece enemies that you're fighting Devil May Cry style. Right?
For sure. For sure. Oh, yeah. You're doing damage all over the place, right? All these super combos. I don't want to say I don't like it, but it's... And I don't want to say it's not Final Fantasy, because 7 Remake and 15 and 12 to some extent and 13 to some extent were kind of like that, but they are very different. It's a different feel. And there's definitely not turn-based in any way. Like, they made a point to say that.
I just want to harken back to the days of where you're like, well, this isn't Resident Evil. No, it is Resident Evil. It's just different. 6 and 5 and 6 are just different.
Well, I mean, they have the story element, and the characters obviously all play in the Chocobos, the Moogles, all that stuff. There's going to be a Cid in the game.
It's not turn-based.
Well, gameplay-wise, it's not, but story-wise, it is, and that's what brings it all together.
It's just different. I mean, it's like a Dragon Ancient, like a Dragon, like doing, they're doing the different story elements. Yakuza, right? They're switching it off.
For sure.
It's still Yakuza. It's just going to be different. Going forward.
Yeah.
Now they got the spin-off of Like a Dragon.
And I'm not saying I don't like it, because I do like heavy action games, but it is different. That's all. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It looks beautiful. I think it's going to be good. I think there's going to be good systems in there.
Come on, this reminds me of like Power Rangers, because you can fight in one form and then you can like summon your icon and you're like fighting in the sky as like a big dragon or a big phoenix or something, and you're like just going crazy, going clashing.
Well,
that looked awesome.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. So icons are the new summons. They always call them, they're espers, summons, aeons, whatever. They change them every game. And Ifrit's there, Shiva's there, Ramu, Bahamut, all the classic monsters. What's new to this one, because you mentioned the icons, there are certain battles that are summon versus summon, or icon versus icon. Big Bahamut versus Ifrit. Shiva versus Leviathan, or whatever it is, right? And they're big, and they're just all over the place, and the camera's swinging around. Like, that is super cool. And there's some like QTEs. I know there was some things where you got to mash on the square button to like build up a meter or whatever. Or your monsters clash, or you had to hit like certain parts of Bahamut's wings to like to like disable his attack. It seemed like, so that's all like super cool. It looks great. I think they said in the game too that the icons are the way that you get power. So I think maybe like you equip one icon at a time, let's say like Ifrit, and then as you level up, you get ability points, and Ifrit has certain abilities that you can unlock with your ability points in his sphere. Right, so you'll get like, I don't know, like an extra attack chain, or maybe a fire spell or something like that. That all looks super cool, kind of like Final Fantasy X a little bit different, like kind of like the old sphere grid. So that's like super cool. And I don't know if you noticed this, but there's two things that they said that I'm like, well, Dan's gonna go ahead and love this, because I know you hate upgrading. You hate upgrading. We don't want to do it. They have an option that'll do it for you, and pick like the most intelligent options, or the best for your particular situations. You get to say, auto apply my points for me, and it'll just auto update and get you all the abilities that make sense. And there's also a story mode. There's an easy mode where
that's in all the like from 15 to the remakes. Yeah, they do have an easy mode.
Well, sure, but
Yeah, I would expect it. Hopefully, I mean, you know.
You never know, but it's nice that it's there. They made it a point, so it de-emphasizes combat, so you can get to the good story points. I like that. Yeah, I like that. It is not the first time, right? Yeah, 7 did it in 15.
Dave won't be using it on his.
Of course not. Well, no, I mean, like, no, and I'm not going to poo-poo it. If you want to experience the story, experience the game how you want to experience the game. That's not for me to say, but no, I will be playing on the hardest difficulty. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to say. I want to reserve my judgment till the game comes out. But
we're at episode 355, and I think in 354 episodes, we know Dave. This is his favorite franchise, or one of his favorite franchises.
It's up there. It's like 1, 2, and 3. It's this, Metroid,
I think the first,
and I guess Tekken. Maybe the Tekken series would be number 3.
I think Dave, you drove me crazy for the first 120 episodes of this show until Final Fantasy 15 came out, and I surprised you by playing it.
I know
that came out of left field, and then I started to like it, and then because I only like 7. That's it. I only like 7. I only played 7. I only like 7.
But you weren't crazy about the combat, but you loved the story, and it was a good, yes. it was a great story. And then 7 Remake fixed that for you because they said we're going to make combat Dan style, we're going to make combat super actiony, yes. And I think they did a good job with it. Yeah.
15 said, you know what? If you take it in this direction, I may, I may be all in, even though I didn't like the story of 15. And 15, there's a lot of grinding, a lot of, eating. There's a lot of eating.
There was a lot of, the camping and the hunting and all that for sure.
Yeah, So I wasn't in on any of that stuff. But this,
right.
Devil May Cry meets, almost said House Hunters, Monster Hunter. Definitely in. Definitely.
Devil May Cry meets House Hunters would be also a fantastic game that I would play, Dan.
All right.
Oh, gotta make that happen.
Dave, last on the list. Last news story. I didn't know anything about this, but there was a rare Sonic Adventure tournament disc that resurfaced online. It's been like 27 years. They always had, Sega always had, I can't think of the name of sort of like a showcase that they would have going on during the summer where they would go to different towns and a few weeks to have you play game. I mean, there was no way to put out a demo.
Yeah,
there was no way to put out a demo of a game back in the day.
No, you had to lug
now.
Giant CRT TVs, heavy TVs, and a bunch of Genesis consoles, and you would say, "Hey, look, play Sonic."
It was called Sega Dreamcast Mobile Assault Tour. And they went across North America for 22 weeks in the malls, giving you a chance to play a demo of Sonic Adventure.
Yep.
And it was a demo where you only played Emerald Coast, and they gave you exactly 2 minutes to experience it, and they sort of made it they gamified it to where you had to get the highest score and see if you could get the highest score than the last person. Right.
Based on the enemies you killed, the coins you got, and how far you got on the level. Yeah. Super cool. Yeah. I never knew this was a thing. This was pre Dreamcast. This was before the Dreamcast came out, which is wild. And it's not like it hasn't been done before. Like you said, Sega did it back in the day, and Nintendo had their campus challenges and whatever else. They always go around and try and get hype for the game. I wonder how much.
This has actually been released. No, but this has actually been released and dubbed, so people can play it online. So this is they just dumped it.
I wonder how much that disc is going for now. Did they say?
Well,
the price on it?
The guy's not. No. The guy's not selling it. He just dumped it so everyone can play it online.
Right.
Now.
Right. I wonder how much that would go for. I'd say it'd go for about $10K if I had to put a price on it.
Definitely would go for so much. Yeah.
Because it's got to be like a few of a kind at this point. I don't know how many people kept the discs and whatever. I don't know how this guy came across the disc, but first time I've heard of it. So,
but it's always good that everyone else can play it, right?
Oh, for sure,
so,
for sure.
Awesome. I mean, it's
he did the right thing.
It's the same game. If you have Sonic Adventure on on any platform, any system. It's the same thing. It's just the first level, just in 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to play.
A little time attack. Yeah.
Exactly. It's definitely one of the first of its kind, at least that I can think of, where it's a timed demo, right? 2 minutes exactly. So that's cool. All right, Dave. You got any good weekend plans coming up?
I am going home to see the family, so it should be good. Going to enjoy some time outside, hang out in the garden a little bit, hang out in the patio, and taking the nice, clear, fresh Long Island air.
Cool, because it's going to rain tomorrow, just so you know.
I know, but Sunday, Dan. Sunday's going to be nice.
So the car show. This is the last of the car show.
Okay.
The City Car Show
At the Javits Center.
The Javits Center. I may try to go. I don't know what day.
Okay.
I think it ends in the middle of next week, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. We'll see. I missed it last year, so I don't know if I'm going to miss it this year. I do want to buy a car at some point this year.
So got to make that happen, Dan.
That, and I may buy Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Oh. Come on. Fans out there, get on social media. Get Dan to buy this game. He will like it. There's a lot of you can trust me. You can make it to where you'll enjoy it.
I don't know how I'm going to play it. I don't have a TV.
I can help you get your PS5 working on your monitor. Trust me. I'll get you a nice little streamer set up. It'll be great. You can stream it on Twitch. All right. That is episode 355 in the books, folks. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.